Kross back with another video. Today we are talking to Tedeschi from Kross Studios, but not only Kross Studios, many other ventures. So we're going to get into it today. We're going to take a look at some of the new releases from Kross Studios. I'm very excited. So tell us about what you are introducing today. Tell us a little bit about the brand. Tell us everything.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure. We are here today in New York to showcase for the first time our latest collaboration with Hasbro, which is our Transformers collector set.
Yes.
Which is based out of our central tourbillon. But this time it is the latest variation of the tourbillon, which is the floating tourbillon. Why is it floating? You can tell because the cage of the tourbillon has been deported above the rest of the movement, and this is a mechanism we have patented. So here, what's special about it? We have a case in grade 5 titanium that was engraved with Inca's pattern, because the latest movie, happens to be in Peru.
I haven't seen the latest movie, but it involves animals, right?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. And I'll try not to spoil anything.
Right.
But yes, this is part of the movie, and the watch is delivered together with a sculpture, because the concept as Kross Studio is always to have our collaboration pieces together with an art piece or a movie prop. And here we have a sculpture that was designed by Hasbro exclusively for us. So there will be only 10 pieces in the world with the watch and the sculpture together. So we have the central tourbillon floating, as I said. Always the interchangeable strap system, so it's very easy to change straps. The watch is, of course, delivered with two different straps. And we have, like all our pieces, no crown, no lugs, no sharp edges, so the best comfort on the wrist, and the D-ring crown on the back. So you just lift the crown to have the D-ring, and then
Wind it.
You can wind the watch.
So I've heard this design sort of likened to an iPod. It's very comfortable because it's lugless, and the design itself is almost like a pebble shape, right?
Absolutely.
You have a beautifully domed sapphire crystal,
yes,
which obviously you need because of the central tourbillon. And previous versions that you made, like the Star Wars, the Death Star, which I'm a huge Star Wars fan, that had an actual half of a sort of little model of the Death Star that would be essentially sitting on top of the tourbillon cage, right? So that would rotate. Very, very cool. So you are moving that forward by making something that looks like it's almost, so when I first saw these watches, it almost felt like it was three-dimensional. So you could see that tourbillon cage. It's just sort of floating almost above the crystal. I turned it on its side immediately, and that's when you can see the crystal.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Now we have a very special treatment on the dome sapphire. We don't just only anti-reflective treatment. We do it both sides, but we also added an anti-static treatment for the dust not to remain, and anti-UV treatment, so you don't have any UV that will alter the color of the dial or of the material from the inside. So we pay a lot of attention on choosing the best treatment for the sapphire crystal. The goal being the people that wears the watch doesn't feel there is a glass, and when you look at it from the side, in most of the direction, you feel that you can just pinch the tourbillon from your fingers.
And you developed the central tourbillon in an earlier life, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the central tourbillon was a project I developed back in 2006 when I was still at the engineering school. And this project is very dear to me because thanks to this project, I was hired by Mr. Jean-Claude Biver at Tourbillon. I was only 22 years old, and this gave me the chance to expose my knowledge and my passion for watchmaking. And when we started Kross Studio, I said, okay, the first thing we need to do is to bring this central tourbillon to life. And of course, after that, we made some evolution with the floating tourbillon, and we'll have more in the future.
It works. The watch that you just took off your wrist is the Game of Thrones. I see some scales on the case here. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I mean, I think a lot of people are. One of the most popular shows I think HBO ever put out, but just an amazing TV show. And this looks amazing. Tell us a little bit about this.
So first of all, I have to say that Game of Thrones is definitely my favorite show. For me, since the beginning, I've been a diehard fan, and not just of the show itself, but the whole universe that was created by George Martin. And what's interesting about this watch is the case that was engraved with dragon scales. It has the floating tourbillon as the transformer watch, but it also has on the dial a ring made of Valyrian steel. And when I say it's Valyrian steel, it's not your regular Damascus steel, it's the actual Valyrian steel made at the same foundry that made the metal for the swords in the show.
Oh my god,
So,
alright, that's very cool.
You
went all out.
we couldn't make it more accurate than that. And the challenge was to recreate the pattern at a smaller scale for the Damascus steel or the Valyrian steel to look like the actual one on the swords. And on the back, mainly here is a prototype, is laser engraved, but we have the Targaryen logo that is engraved by hand. So that was a huge challenge, because engraving by hand on titanium is not an easy job. And engraver was doing it. Sometimes I hear that he's thinking of me because my ears are doing some noise. Yeah. And each of the watches is delivered with its own sculpture, which is a dragon egg that is hand painted according to the color of the egg from the show.
Wow, okay. Very cool. So there's one more watch on the table. This is a non-collaboration watch.
Exactly.
And it's the KS05.
Absolutely, yes.
And you went with basically a watch that is essentially Kross Studios without a collaboration. So there's no other sort of influence behind this watch except for your own.
Absolutely. So we got many requests from people that were loving our product, but they didn't want necessarily to have a collaboration piece. So here the first idea with this product was to use the central floating tourbillon together with dials made of stones or glass. So here what's important about it is that we don't have one dial like most of the watches does, but we have three dials. We have the Reo, which is the outer ring. We have the middle one that is affixed on the fixed hour wheel from the movement. And we have the central one, or the inner one, that is directly affixed on the movement. And this gives this three-dimensional effect that is very nice. And for the first variation of K05, we made it with glass. So this is black aventurine glass, or natural stones. So we have a wide variety of stones available, from jade to lapis lazuli to sodalite. I mean, any stone you name it, we can have it. We can have coral, we can have fossilized wood, whatever is possible. And it's available both in gold and in grade 5 titanium, as well as with or without diamond. We have a full pavé case on the KS05. This was also something requested by customers.
And will this be limited?
Yes, each variation is limited to 10 pieces.
Okay.
So Kross Studio, there is three meaning behind our name. There is the Kross for the Swiss Kross, which is the quality, the watchmaking. This represents our industry, which is our national industry. There is the Kross for collaboration. This is where two people join and create something.
Yep.
And last but not least, there is also the X we use for the Roman number 10, and this is why all our pieces are limited to 10.
Great.
So each of the variation you see here, there will be only 10 pieces. And what's also special about it, we will never redo a Transformer edition like this, changing the dial in blue and red to say this is the Optimus Prime or whatever. No, this is how it is, and then we'll move to something completely different.
Okay.
And that's very important. We don't want our collector to feel abused if we redo the same type of edition, changing a few colors or materials. So the idea is really to combine exclusive design every time.
Awesome. Really, really awesome. Tell us about the watch cases.
Yeah.
So you also have a number of watch cases here, and I'll show those.
Yeah, I have two pieces that illustrate what we do. On this side, we have one green leather case. I will go back at this one later. And then we have this one, which is from our Batman collaboration. So the idea behind having watch rolls was to create the perfect watch roll for travel. Unfortunately, before my own watch roll, and I'll be very proud of it, I never find a watch roll that really protects the watch while in your bag. I always travel with a backpack. I often have 2 or 3 watches with me, and I want those watches not to be damaged. We are collecting our pieces, we love them, we take care of them, and the last thing you want to happen is that your watch gets damaged while in the bag. So on the side of those rolls, you have wooden sides. So if something hits in the bag, nothing will happen because you can compress. I will not have an elephant seated on it, but we have actual people that try to jump on it. It doesn't break. And here you can touch for yourself. We have a metallic plate. It's an actual stainless steel plate.
Right.
And thanks to this plate, it's impossible to hit from the front where the face of the watch is.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
And last but not least, we have something nice, which is the 2 legs on the bottom. So when it's on the table, it will stand at the
so it's a
position.
little display.
Exactly. It's also a display case, so you can have it on the table, on your night table when you travel. And many people, they like to get them. They have let's say a GMT Batman Rolex, and then they go for the Batman.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
And what are you charging for these?
So the plain ones that are also customizable, so you can by purchasing online, you can also have your initials on it with hot foil. It's available in gold, black, and silver. You can have your initials on the top, or your full name on the bottom, or your Instagram account, or whatever text you like. And those are $199, and the collaboration ones are $250.
Excellent. Really?
So it's genuine leather. It's a very high-end microfabric cloth inside. So we really wanted to work with the best materials, the best craftsmanship, leathers from different countries in Europe that are known for leather, and we can have it in your hands. I think
feels very solid, and obviously very well.
The feelings
and you have the metal plate, and even though this is not the collaboration version, it has the metal plate.
Absolutely.
Still the wood side, same construction as the collaboration.
Exact same construction, yes.
Right.
There's no varieties in that. So
beautiful. Yes.
Completely
understand. Yes. Awesome. Beautiful. Anyway, listen. Thank you so much for inviting me out to see these. Obviously, I jumped at the opportunity because I'm very familiar and I'm super excited. I know that you are a very busy man and you are in New York for a very short period of time. So thank you for taking the time to show us your watches. Very much appreciated, and thank you for.
Anytime. It's my pleasure, and I hope your community will enjoy it. I will keep in touch.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.